a Toyota Hilux. This South African-produced version costs around £28,000, has a V6 diesel engine producing 144 horsepower and gets to 62 miles an hour in 12 seconds. This is also a Toyota Hilux, and it's also produced here in South Africa. Think of it as a special edition model because it's got a 416 horsepower engine that gets it to 62 in just 6 seconds. And as you've probably guessed, it's not been built for lugging around bags of cement, but this, the Dakar Rally, the most gruelling motorsport event in the world. In fact, this very Hilux has just returned from South America, where it finished an amazing second. It was developed here in Kyalami by the Toyota Motorsport South Africa team. They only came together 4 years ago, but have already achieved 3 podium finishes, making them Toyota's most successful ever Dakar outfit. But alongside a great car, you need a great driver. Giniel de Villiers is a true Dakar legend, having won the event in 2009 with VW and achieved top 10 finishes in 11 of his 12 appearances. So what does it actually feel like to be in the car driven by Giniel? Oh, if only we had somebody who's a really good passenger, they could tell us. Well, we got Tiff.
Oh, you didn't tell me about that, did you?
There's a couple of bumps here, but they're not...
Bumps? That's not a bump! That's a flipping
so bad.
Giniel! Giniel! What? What?
There's plenty of them in the race.
Tiff should be having a ball, though he's really not very good if he's not behind the wheel.
The best thing actually on the bumps, you know, the quicker you go with this car, the more comfortable it feels.
Yeah, well, I can assure you, you go quite quick enough. Oh! You do this for how many hours a day?
Well, the longest stage I've done is 11 hours, but on average 10 hours a day.
You have got to be out of your tiny mind!
It's like anything, you know, you get used to it.
How long does it take to recover from 2 weeks of doing this? 11 hours a day?
It takes me about 2 weeks generally to recover and be back to normal again.
You're throwing it around like a little nimble rally car, and we're in a 2-ton truck. It doesn't seem physically possible for us to corner at the speeds we're doing without ending up on our roof.
The car needs to be high for the desert condition, you know, you have to cross dunes and, you know, all sorts of obstacles, so you need a lot of ground clearance.
Whoa, we're rolling over again.
It feels worse than it is.
My head's about to fall off my shoulders because my neck's giving up the ghost, and you're about to attack a load of whoopie-doops in 5th gear at whatever speed. But I will need to speak to my osteopath as soon as I get off the plane home.
My back. I've just timed Giniel on this 4-kilometre track, and he's done a 1 minute 55.26.
After a few laps, I needed a break from the torture. What makes Giniel de Villiers so good at doing the Dakar?
Obviously you need speed, but I think, you know, Dirk and myself have got a good recipe to stay focused, and we try and limit the mistakes. That's the main thing.
And how do you approach these dunes? I mean, you just see a wall of sand. You've no idea what's on the other side.
It is the most challenging part of the race, but driving in the dunes is like surfing. You know, once you get into that sort of a rhythm, it's actually unbelievable.
You see these pictures, these people with shovels and spades, it's 100 degrees centigrade or whatever. And what's the longest you've spent trying to dig yourself out of a dune?
I think about 40 minutes is the longest, and especially in the beginning, you know, you get stuck and then you dig yourself out, spend 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, and then 2 days later you're stuck again and you've got to do it all over again. And I mean, it's such a big challenge, and it's a huge adventure, of course. You also get to see the most beautiful places in the world.
This year's 5,500-mile trek took the 560 vehicles through Argentina, Chile and Bolivia. But there was one moment in particular that interested me.
On the salt flats in Bolivia, was it? With your main competition, you almost joined him to slipstream together to pick up some speed.
After 80 k's on the Salt Flat, which was 130 kilometers, I decided I have to try and do something to get some of us away, because all 5 of us were together.
Heading for a narrow road.
There was a narrow road at the end, and I pushed him. We went 15 k's an hour faster, almost doing 200 k's an hour, and we made 2 minutes on the rest of the guys. But that was a bit of touring car style.
And this year was close. It was just like 2 or 3 days before the end where you tried to take a gamble on a trip and you just missed a waypoint.
Yeah, it's complicated, you know. That specific day there was also a big sandstorm, so you have no point of reference of where you are. And we navigate by ways of the road book, and also we've got GPS in the car, but it only comes on when you're within an 800 meter radius of the point. And if you don't get the point, you get a huge penalty, an hour, 2 hour, whatever. And we were just 600 yards too far to the left, and we struggled for 20 minutes to get the point. But you know, that's the race.
Now, of course, Giniel, you were part of the big Volkswagen team for a while that dropped out, but now, you know, the sport is almost dominated by the big German teams, and there's Peugeot as well coming in now with their new rear-wheel drive buggy. You're really little guys punching above your weight. You must be proud of that fact.
It's been a great journey, and the car is built in South Africa. 99% of the car is South African, and we really work very hard to, you know, to move up that one more step.
Kick right, kick left, into the double apex, staying into third. Hardly any power, got the throttle open, but now I feel the boost coming, boost, and then